Hello, parents. If you are looking for Mrs. Tapia's 8th grade core, whether your child is in AM or PM, you have come to the right spot. This is a new adventure for all of us. And I thought, maybe making a little video for parents would be easy. But I honestly wish you were in the room because I think I'm more nervous making this little video. So please bear with me as I stumble along. But I am Elizabeth Tapia. I am your child's core teacher, and I am incredibly happy to have the students with me, even though we are remotely, conjoined. I'm very happy to have them and looking forward to a good year. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in the Bay Area and I moved to the Roseville Granite Bay area about 21 years ago and have worked in the Eureka School District since 2000. I started at Excelsior and taught 6th grade for many, many years, but I really loved the junior high, middle school scene because that is what I had in former school districts in the Bay Area. So I was thrilled when there was an opening at Olympus years and years ago. I came for 7th grade core and have since worked my way up to 8th grade core. And I absolutely adore working with the 8th graders. I love getting them prepared for high school. I enjoy the American history with them. And they're just that much older and a little more sophisticated. Many of them are settling into a routine and are establishing some good study habits. So I am very fond of teaching not only junior high in general, but this grade level. Little bit about me, went to UCLA. I've got my little UCLA magnet in the background. That's been nice because I've had a few students this year identify with that by letting me know that people in their family had gone to UCLA. So that's a fun thing. I'm very interested in sports. So I think that that has been helpful connecting with some other students in class. My own 3 children went through all these schools and in the district, and they loved being in Olympus. And then they went on to Granite Bay, and they are all well-established young adults, which is a nice stage for me in my life. I love to read and travel and take photographs when I'm not at school. Core includes English and history. If you are new to our school or new to the area, that is what core includes. There's so much interaction with English and history that I really enjoy having the core group together because obviously one needs to read and write in order to do history. And English in and of itself has so much history tied to it. So the two go together beautifully. A little bit about what we do. In English, our main program is Amplify, which is the online program that the kids and I will be launching into very soon. There are numerous units that we do. We start with a Roald Dahl that is a memoir of his being a fighter pilot in World War II. So serious topic, but rather humorous. We have a very well-written and intense unit on Frederick Douglass that we do in the new year and into the spring when we are working and studying in conjunction with history and doing the Civil War. Those are great. Amplify is wonderful because I'm able to really work with the kids, make sure they're in a level that is best for them, pushing some kids up, giving some other students some extra guidance. So it's a great program. There's not only a ton of reading, but there is a lot of writing and there's a lot of great vocabulary. So it is wonderful all around. In addition, we've always had class novels. That is something I'm working on with the distance learning. I am trying to figure out some ways that we can still have some class novels together, whether it's a matter of my reading out loud or asking if some students can borrow a copy or get a copy of a book or come to school and pick up another book if need be. We're still kind of ironing out those things, but I love having class novels for us to read and discuss together and do various activities. I'm also a very, very avid reader myself, and I really push independent reading. I want students to find some kind of literature that works for them. And I always run into kids who say, I don't like to read in my free time, but I really hope they'll come to me and let me offer some suggestions, because I read so much young adult literature, and I try to read things that are geared for all kinds of readers, whether it's a dystopian novel, something with humor, something with relationships, family situations, sports, athletics. I really like to be able to help my students choose some good literature to read on their own. So much of their independent reading is what we use in their writing as well, for their journals, for their responses to literature. So it's very important that they find some things to read. Also in English, in discussing elements of literature, we do a lot with vocabulary with Greek and Latin roots, a lot of academic vocabulary that needs to be taught, and also grammar, some good old-fashioned grammar. And that the grammar and the vocabulary comes into play when students write as well, when we're helping them with editing and rewriting and how to make their writing stronger. We throw in the basic structure of grammar and vocabulary as well. We do a variety of writing in 8th grade. So there is quite a bit of writing that comes through the Amplify program. There's also journal writing, which we do online. And I would say that within my journals, every one of them has an element of, again, the independent reading book. So the student is picking something that he or she wants to read, because if one likes what one is reading, it is much easier to write about. You're much more passionate if you like what you're reading. So that we do a lot of that. There's an emphasis on argumentative writing. We want students to be prepared for their writing in high school. We really want them to be able to state a claim, to stick to it, and to cite textual evidence to use as one's defense. We need to see textual evidence, and we help the kids learn how to embed that in their writing. We use discussion, analysis, evaluation, and presentation to practice speaking and listening skills, and we are still working on that with distance learning. There will be situations when students will go into something like Flipgrid and be able to tape themselves, to film themselves giving a little spiel, a little speech about something in Amplify perhaps, or a book talk about their novel, or discussing a famous character in history, I should say. You know, they may have to choose pros and cons about a certain president or a certain general in a military battle, you know. So it's really great that we have all this different technology, that the students are still able to do things such as present, because speaking and listening skills are things that we all need to keep working on. Now for history. Our history is of the United States. The American history begins a little bit before the American Revolution with the colonies coming in, and it goes to about the beginning of the 20th century. In this early part of the school year, this first trimester, there's a heavy emphasis on things such as the Declaration of Independence, the American Revolution, and the study of the US Constitution. This is all new for us right now, though, because usually at school we have a large Constitution test. And at this point, we're trying to figure out how we're going to be able to do this remotely. So we're working on that. Oh, and I can see my little window here is cutting into my words. I'm scooching over as much as I can. Excuse me for this. Whoops. And I missed a little of that page. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know. Oh, now I have all sorts of things all over my screen. Thank you for dealing with me with patience. I did want to let you know that we are still trying to work on the particulars about some culminating activity or test regarding the Constitution. So as a grade level, we're working on that. It usually occurs at the end of the trimester, and the students will have studied for at least a month. So that means that if we go with a traditional test, it would be the very end of October or early November, and we would have spent all of October working on it. So whether we decide to do some kind of culminating activity in lieu of a test, in place of that, I'll just keep you posted and the students as well. Okay, I will try to change the page here. Just a quote that I really like that makes me think about education. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. And that is really what I want. I want these 8th grade students to think. I want them to realize that it is all right to try and to fail, because we learn from failure. We learn from our mistakes. If everything is too easy and one doesn't make a mistake, how is one ever going to learn? So I want them to come to school. I want them to be inspired. I want them to find things of interest and to sort of venture off and look for more information, find something new, maybe go off on a tangent from something they read in the history book and find something new of interest to study, a claim to make, something to back it up. So that's one of the reasons I really enjoy teaching. All righty. This is an important piece of information when I was thinking of things I would want to tell you if I had you in person. A few of you parents, both in AM and in PM, are already in our Google Classroom, which simply means that at some point in the district, you accepted a Google Classroom invitation from a teacher from a previous year. And that means you're able to kind of track your own student within Google Classroom. Google Classroom is our main area. I tell the kids to check in there every day. For them, it has all the activities, the assignments. It has things like the class codes and various other materials of importance that will stay there all school year. So if you are not in Google Classroom and you receive an email from me with an invitation, I do hope you will accept it, because it is a wonderful way to stay connected to your child and have some connection to see what's going on in our class. If you get the invitation and you're unclear, please feel free to write me and I will assist you. And lastly, I'm here to facilitate your child's learning. We are in unprecedented times, and I believe we can accomplish all that is required of us. Please help your child establish good study habits at home. Do not hesitate to contact me if you have questions or need assistance. And that's etapia@eurekausd.org. So again, I am here for your students. I love my job. I want to help them succeed, but I want to help them grow. I do not want to hand everything to them. Sometimes a child will stumble and fall a little bit, and that's okay, because what we really want is we really want to see those kids pick themselves up. We want to see them rebound, and we want to see them be successful and feel good about it. Currently, I'm working with some of the students on a growth mindset, a positive mindset about learning new things. And it's okay to not know everything yet and be successful yet. This is a time to grow. And again, they may stumble a little. I'm here to help them, but I'm here to guide them so they can figure out how to move on. That will just make the transition to high school so much easier. And before you know it, they will be graduating and heading off to college or going out into the world for employment. So we want them to be happy, positive, well-adjusted young people who are able to overcome some obstacles, to have some critical thinking skills, some creative thinking skills, good communication skills, and we really want to launch them safely into the world. I so appreciate your sticking through this with my minor stumbling. Thank you so much. Again, if you need me, there is my email. Dare I try to move this and close it? Oh no, now I have another box. Well, there we go. etapia@eurekausd.org. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.